What is my job at Renly? What is my title? If you don't know, Renly is a startup I co-founded, and recently I quit my job at AT&T to work on it full-time. One of the definitions of a startup is a company operating in circumstances out of the ordinary. There is a problem to solve, and the founders will use any means necessary to come up with a solution, hopefully a profitable solution. Find any early stage startup and you will see that each member perform tasks that have mostly nothing to do with the title they hold. Sometimes the CEO will be in a call with investors in one instance, then design a landing page in the next. The CTO will be programming in the backend at one time, and then on the next he'll be cleaning out the office trash. Because startup is for the early stage, a title doesn't mean much. Shouldn't mean much, because we're still in the process of figuring out the problem. But sometimes it means something, and it can change the way you do your job. Don't get me wrong, a title can be useful, especially if you're trying to build a career. A recruiter scouring LinkedIn will be filtering candidates based on their title. One example is the title of programmer versus developer. Sure, they both mean the exact same thing when it comes to the task you perform, but if you write programmer on your resume, you will get paid less than the person that does the exact same thing but calls himself developer. I noticed that when I call myself programmer, the recruiters tend to find me odd, low-paying jobs. But when I say developer, they usually invite me to their headquarters and shake my hand firmly. The other benefit of a good title is to get a promotion. I know people who joined startups only because they had reached the top of the ladder in their career. At a startup, the rules of titles are more flexible, so they choose something with an executive ring to it. Whether the startup fails or succeeds, a few years later, they can go back into the job market where they have a chance of getting hired with a new title at a much higher pay. Having a prestigious title could be the difference between having a job to make ends meet and having a six-figure salary. So how about the troubles that come with a title? First and foremost, titles will be the first source of tensions in a startup. Everyone wants to be the CEO. If not, well, everyone will want something with the word chief in it. CFO, CTO, COO. It becomes harder when there are more co-founders because there's only so many chief titles. The other problem is no one knows what those titles means, at least not in the beginning. To this day, I cannot tell you what is the day-to-day role of a CEO or a CTO. When I joined Renly, I did not think about a title. It never occurred to me. Instead, I just worked on whatever needed work. And then one day we were making a video to pitch what Renly is to an accelerator program. The camera was rolling and my turn came, and I did not know how to introduce myself. So I said, VP of Tech. VP. That does have an executive ring to it, doesn't it? Except I have no clue what it means. Later that week, I was updating my LinkedIn and it asked me for my title at Renly. The task I was working on at the time was scraping and analyzing data, so obviously I put data scientist. It sounds very professional and my co-founders approved of it, so I took the role of data scientist. Except I know nothing about data science. Sure, I have been scraping data for years, but is that data science? If I am a data scientist, I have to be a data scientist. That's what I believe. But when I read some more about this field, my role was not that so much. So I use tools like PHP, Bash, Perl. I save data in MySQL. These are no true data scientist tools. Shouldn't I be using something like R, MATLAB, or at least use some mathematical formulas? The title was pushing me in a direction that was not so useful to me, so I dropped it. I dropped the title. I prefer that freedom of working in chaos. That's what a startup is all about. The problems come in, and I find a solution to it, or I find someone who can solve it. Adding a title to my work is only a limitation. And if I'm not an expert in the field, then I'll be wasting my time in that internal battle of classifying what I do rather than do what I need to do. So today I can say I am not the CEO, I am not the CTO, CFO, COO, or VP of anything. I am the guy that points at a problem and tries to come up with a solution with whatever means necessary. So, if I'm on LinkedIn and I have to type a title, I'll have to narrow it down to problem solver. Does that have an executive ring to it? Well, you tell me.